if it, Okay, we're live. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic podcast. I'm really excited about my guest today. He's one of my favorite guests. I have with me the amazing Sean Bond. He's a master of stuff's falling off my desk. He's a master of psionic abilities. Honestly, he really is. And if you guys don't know this, I got to meet Sean in person, and he's just as cool as he is when you see him on the computer. When you meet him in person, he's even a nicer person. I mean, he really is. I consider him like a brother, honestly. Like, I don't know if he knows that, but I mean, and then like yeah. And eventually, what I was going to say was I was supposed to do like a election night stream tonight, and I was like, that's not really my thing. You know what I mean? I would rather just not have anything to do with the election. I mean, I voted because I'll just say real quick, I thought that Trump was outside of the establishment, but I'm not sure. I'm not holding my breath. I might have my hopes, but I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know enough about, what I mean? I hate politics, honestly. I really do. So I'd rather do something fun with Sean where we can educate you guys and we can, like we'll all learn something as compared to like tuning into like these crazy election streams. They're just going to, hype up your cortisol and get you stressed out. You know what I mean? So like, why pay attention to that stuff when you could do this? I don't know. But with all that said, my guest again is Sean Bond, Psionic Master. He's with the PsionicLeague, and he's at youtube.com/spiritualcords. Hold on, I don't get it.
It's like at PsionicLeague.com.
Yeah, Supercord Spiritual Science. Yeah, and his website is PsionicLeague. And with all that said, I'd like to give him a big warm welcome back to the show. Sean, thanks so much for coming back on, man. How are you?
Thanks for having me. Honored. Wonderful. A lot of energy hurricanes today, so it's nice. I didn't get sleep, and then I had to do a ceremony at night with all the shifting timelines, and there's some rituals being done, and they're pretty evil. But and how that goes.
We'll talk about that a little bit. Do you think it's because of this dark election stuff? Is that what it is?
Oh yeah. They're trying to control the timeline. So they'll do sacrifices and summon big demons, and then ask them for them to make something happen.
Yeah.
And there's just a big demon that expands with a bunch of stolen power, and then people that are aware of that and feel it and can change it and resolve it, shrink it down as a problem on the planet, because it doesn't need to. They only have so much power of what they can do based on who they summon and all that, and they don't have that much awareness, so they just delegate to demons. It always goes back to, it's like the military uses every problem's a hammer, every problem needs to be a nail. They just keep doing the ritual summoning demons and sacrificing things. It's really sad. It's pretty. It's also upsetting, but also they're not creative. They don't come up with much new. They just steal stuff.
Well, we're the creators, right? We're the ones with the spark, the divine spark inside us. Supposedly, they're like the anti-creators. It seems like, and that's why they have to loosh off us. Is that correct?
Absolutely, that's great. I love that one. Yeah. Everything like anti was to the dark, or the anti-verse version of something, or the counters and the polarity, suppression if they're not born with something, taking it, or making something predatory.
Yeah,
exactly.
I like that. So we were going to get into a vision quest tonight. How do you want to do this? Should we explain what a vision quest is first, or like? Yeah, and thank you. This is awesome, man.
Thank you for having it. Okay, for everyone out there that's listening, recommend getting like some type of eye mask or towel or handkerchief or something you can wrap around your eyes to make it so there's less light coming in. So it's easier to just see that ink block test of fuzzy, different colors. For most people, it's like a gray background color with black, unless they get light or they're generating light within. And then that can be more brightened and made more HD as we go along. So we'll be doing that. So get that if you can. As well, write in the chat, what's the goal you guys have? What you want to do a vision quest about. They're not that long. They can, well, it depends on what they are, but it could be like 5 or 10 minutes each, and it goes into like amplifying something in the collective for the individuals that listen and go through it. And so you could go through it and visualize it. It also ramps up the engine of your vision, so you can do more vision work right afterwards, and then gets you into learning how to do it, and then it goes into the internal mystery school within. And it like, we just let it flow. I ask what can be showed among all the audience and vision that can be shared for the intention, whether it be improving aspect of your life, achieving, completing yourself, past lives. It could go to power retrieval, memory retrieval. It could go to something that brings something to you that empowers that aspect of you, superpowers, turning on things, even making vision better. Whatever you guys want to bring up. Let's see
Ellie
what's
Mitchell
in the chat
says,
for it.
yeah, Ellie Mitchell says, amplifying the healing for the world. That would be cool. What do you think?
Okay, that's a good one. Let me. So I'm going to dim my lights as well for that, and then okay, yeah, we can set it for that. I'm gonna get into that mode. This also symbol amplifies your vision in opening the pineal. So get that in the subconscious. We're gonna have those as products later with multiple different things that you can get online. But you get your eye mask and stuff. If you want to go into it, drums amplify the vision questing. So I'll see if I can get some drum music.
This is cool. I don't even have an eye mask, but I'll just kind of go with it. I'm going to keep my eyes open and closed because I mean, I'm
Yeah, I get it. And you can listen to this later, and if you want to amplify it, and you just go along with.
I got to make sure no
reading the
trolls
vision
into
you
the
want.
chat. But
Yes.
thanks, GX. GX says, thanks, Rob, for having this show tonight. Some of us have unplugged from the election frenzy to remain sane. I agree. Thank you. Thank you, Gannett. That's Gannett. Thank you, Gannett. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're all here. You're all like family to me, you know. So yeah. Hey, Catherine. Good to see you. All right. Yeah, I'll turn it over to you. And sorry about that interruption.
Cool. And so people that don't know what vision quests are, they go internally in vision, and you go on a little journey and from place to place, and it trains your ability to go within vision quest, spirit world, many other places, training ground, internal dream worlds, astral, other dimensions. Depends on where your intention is taking you. So we bring up the subject of amplifying healing for the world. I see so for everyone that's good, put a thumbs up to ready to go, get your stuff, sit back, lay down, or whatever you can get relaxed, fully detached from the external. Going in the within direction where it automatically detaches things from your mind as you give love to the part of your mind and purify it of all attachment, and it shrinks down into the center, the pineal, as well as the heart. Eventually, as they kind of size and space and time kind of get like shifted away from all the attachment of the external dream, and it becomes one. And then faith, love, gratitude, amplifying it all, as you can use your hands to tune into the very position you are in space-time and what's going on, and translate, as well as hold the front and back, your heart or your third eye, if you want to clear it so it gets more brighter. And if it feels safer, it will produce more energy and open up more. But it's like starting the vehicle of the car. So I will go into hallway doors that represents the nexus, and travel amongst this. So you can see it coming before you, kind of like the Matrix, Neo in the Matrix, where all the guns and library and stuff showed up whenever they called it. Room, hallway, like a hotel of infinite doors that keeps going, and many different aspects of yourself. Soul, DNA, the collective, everything. So this goes. So I see 2 doors showing up with the thing that we're talking about. So I'll go for the brightest one. It's the most relevant relevance for today. We'll see it before, see it shining brighter than the others with a bit of gold. It's kind of woodenish window. It has a weird frame that it looked like it's old and has a bunch of moss on it for some reason. So you go to reach for the door as you get closer, and you feel yourself. And by the way, feel yourself more in this whatever dream internal body you have, and this nexus collects to the collective consciousness of humanity. That's nice. And you can feel yourself more in this space, stepping, feeling in the first person, but it's okay if you're in the third person. You can see a little like energy attachment and sphere and a remote viewing eye come off of that you're like seeing from as you take control of different aspects of this vision tech. Notice also when things don't show exactly what you want them to. If you feel like it's going out of control or waddling or showing something weird or getting infiltrated with negative visions or thoughts, I understand that happens. That usually you can hold your third eye front and back, fill it with love, and get it brighter and brighter and cleared. That doesn't mean that the thing is actually happening, so you don't have to attach to any fear of what's being shown to you. It usually means something's trying to fuck with you. So you can clear your third eye and know that, like, if I was like, oh, make your Merkaba spin, and you see it like tottering and kind of going out of control, it doesn't mean it is happening. It means something's fucking with your vision, and your higher self like knows what you want. So you can detach from it being a negative mess with you type of thing. And you clear the third eye, and it strains up, and everything works how you want it to flow. And that's part of taking back the technology. So a lot, and also facing fears goes into exposing to more, taking more veils down, and then sometimes you see psychic parasites and other stuff around. So you can take those as a test to overcome. But so we're going to amplify a lot of the healing energy and purification and light, and making it so we drive all those forces back as you take back control of your third eye, pineal tech, and beyond, like with the heart eye. Okay, so we see this door. It's kind of glowing. Reach for the door. Like, for example, when it gets messed with, you might still keep moving past the door and kind of hold on doors like, oh no, it's getting away from me. That's also way purify the pineal gland by holding it front and back. Okay, so we open the door, we go in. Be okay with it being dark in the beginning. It's going to change. So you get inside and you're in like a dark room. The door closes. Okay, what is this space? So I'm starting this off as if I can't see anything, so that I can help you guys, because I know it's hard to see things. So there's an energy, electromagnetic aura, torus field coming off you, and you bounce energy off you like a ping pong off yourself into the room, and then it bounces back, and then you get reading on data, sensory on what's in the room. So you're feeling that with empathy, emotions. It's like as if all senses, clairvoyance, audience, knowingness, all that stuff is one, and you're centering into that one sense. And it starts to open up. It's like a bit of a hallway. You guys can vision whatever you want, but I'm doing it like a thing that if you vision what I'm visioning, it will upgrade you and make it so we reach our intention, like healing for the whole collective, which is what we're going for. But feel free, I'm not going to hold you back from if your vision wants to turn on and take you in a different path and you start seeing things, go ahead, look into that stuff. I'll just be a base for you to come back to anytime you want to, and you can start visioning that and then still be a part of it. So I know people's third eyes work. So with bounces, okay, it sees a hallway kind of going down, and there's a bit of stairs, and it's kind of old worldy. It's got like picture frames on the side and little candles that start lighting up. It's got a carpet and it's going down the stairs. So I'm just going down the staircase. And you can use this time of stepping down the stairs to get really in depth into this body and detach from the external body. The internal dream vision body is what you're trying to get involved in and feel more. So you keep stepping one at a time down their staircase. This also goes into programming the subconscious, going deeper into trance, in which you can go deeper in your consciousness. Visions get easier. Programming yourself gets easier. Going into belief gets easier. All kinds of things. It's like going down into your subconscious. You can use it in many methods like that. So that's why a lot of the time I see the vision questing do something like that. And each step means stuff. Each part of the vision means stuff. You can read into it. So I'm going down. It goes to a bigger room. Now I'm scanning what's in the room. It's bigger. It's like bigger square kind of room. Oh, there's some interesting things in it. 1, 2, 3. There's like 3 things. What is this? One's like more brighter than the others. One's like a mirror over a dresser kind of thing. A piano. And we kind of also want to sense if there's any beings in the room or objects of interest or other ways out of the room, or if this is trying to point you in the intention of this room. I read there's a being in the room. So it goes to this, you kind of, so I'm starting it as if you don't see it all and your third eye is not really that good. I can see, but I'm doing it for everyone. You kind of shape and make a bigger blob, bubble, oval kind of thing around or whatever if you start sensing a being. And then it starts shaping like psychic archaeology or psychic sculpting, getting rid of what's not it. And it like goes down to the truth or the greater light or something moving. It has more energy and it's like the marble statue artwork underneath the marble block is what you're getting to. This is like tall being. I can then you sense a good, neutral, or bad kind of thing. Again, more good. Empowerment. A lot of powerful energy coming off this being. What is it? And then it's like a mythos thing. Have I seen this kind of thing before, or is this interesting? Okay. What? Okay, so it's like then you like narrow it down in your closet full of residual images that you've ever seen in your life, like mammalian, humanoid, reptoid, insectoid, all the different consciousness. It looks like a higher consciousness. It looks like it's bipedal, like 4 limbs. Okay, interesting. I'm just making sure in this. It's got a lot of eagle energy. Just making sure on this. Okay, because some of these beings are weird and higher dimensional and also shape-shifting, because it's way easier to shape-shift in vision. And a lot of them try to give you a representation translated by the brain, something that's meaningful and symbolic and also representing of where they're coming from, history, what they've chosen in their life or lives. It's got a lot of eagle. It can humanoid. It's got Native American kind of vibes to it. It looks like it shapeshifts back and forth between human and like a humanoid eagle and a bunch of other things going on with it. So then I have a conversation. If you don't want to be rude with your guest, you don't want to ignore them. So it's like you're gonna have a conversation with it if there's a being in another room. It's like, okay, so we're coming to this conversation. I'm just turning down the music so I can tune into it. So it goes into practicing telepathy as an example. So it's like, hey, how are you? how's everything? I gotta bring with me a big crowd. Okay, and then it starts telling me information on what we're doing is a great thing. And they're proud of everyone here that's listening. It's using like eagle metaphors for something to do with the wind and being taken aloft, and then traveling together and becoming one with, as if the wind, is an extension of yourself, with the collective consciousness being the greater aspect. It's like they're saying there's a giant eagle with when we all come together. It's like going into this super consciousness and the collective consciousness all together in humanity. And then it's showing an eagle version of a bunch of flocks of eagles together and making a giant eagle. And then it's showing humanity and then making a giant version of a human. Then it's going into showing the human come in different poses. And then it is like, as a representation of information that comes in ideograms of like how well the human's doing. And it's got a lot of things going on, including having an image of it curled up in a ball and crying, image of it raging and punching holes in the wall, it having an image of it sick in bed. There's a bunch of different aspects to it. So it's like, you're taking management role of seeing this. And then if you're wanting to heal the collective consciousness, that goes into being a doctor for yourself and then all of humanity. It's showing you like a representation of the audience, like going in and being a doctor. Okay. Then it's like touching their heart, giving them what they need at the control panel of their heart, which makes sense because that's like the major healing energy generator most people tap into is first with their heart healing generator. So it's like turning that on and turning it on in your own heart and making those fires of green and gold and like bright luminescent green colors like turn on brighter and brighter. It's showing a vision of and this is the cool thing with the guides is they give you a lot more vision energy when you talk to them. A lot of things will spur visions, especially if they see it of benefit to them or the collective or more, whatever. So then we got, improve. We're shifting the bed and the facility around to be a better caretaker center for, the representation of human, including so like beds. Turn it or like go from your imagination and just add things to how well they're being treated. Ice cream, cold drinks, beer that helps but doesn't hinder, or whatever else medicine you want to bring in there. As like they're surrounded with all the support. Everyone brings like a way to heal somebody. It's like, you lived it as experience. So then see that adding to the collective consciousness representation of humanity. It's like also the eagle's like representing what it does. Like it's showing a nest, and humanity being in the nest, like their eggs, and then the baby birds being nurtured as the wings are wrapped around it, giving it love, nourishment, what it needs, the sun, safe place, protection from the rain, all the things, and it all going into it, making it better. And you can see color representations in the human body of the collective consciousness represent illnesses like with black or red, or illish kind of colors, brown, sometimes negative green, whatever. There'll be energy with it too. But then there can be positive for the colors and getting it all golden white source, like pure and getting more healthy. So then we see all these little factors. It's wanting to go into like literally teaching people psychic surgery. Okay, yeah, we could do that. And so you'd add music to the room. It's like serenading them, great essential oil for all the senses, smell, touch, taste, comfortable bed, massage chair. Yeah, you can put all this in the vision of it, like representing part of your energy body being trained to affect more and more of the collective, get better and better and healthier, stronger and stronger, becoming the greatest self. Healing can apply to more than just health and illness and pain. Remedy, like homeostasis is just a word, but it's like, I'm okay. You can get way better. It's like repairing everything in the body as part of healing. You see like fountains of gold and white energy coming in. You also can overlay your own body with the collectives, because if you heal yourself while healing the collective, it'll be even stronger, because then you can supply more to the collective. So feel free to overlay this with you. It's like a gold energy coming down like a waterfall into the crown, into the heart, and then flowing through the whole body of healing energy. Okay, yeah, it wants to teach us more stuff. So I can do a bunch of things like that, but we're just gonna listen to ego for now. What does it want? Bursts of wind energy coming into it. Like, have you ever been in a hot place and just a fan just coming in your face, blowing in the face? Oh, it feels so good. You breathe in really energetic air. So it's like air therapy to the max. You can like even take that vision to a higher level. But they're using like the metaphor of you don't have to keep the person in the hospital bed or whatever. So you're setting up multiple parts of themselves to be in multiple places. So you're going to put another version of the collective unconsciousness and yourself as if you're soaring above the clouds like an eagle. You're flying along. It's like super healing. The clouds are giving you healing energy. The right wind currents are giving you energy and healing. There's places of power that extend off the planet. It's like a grid system. It comes out of the center of the earth and extends even past the surface. So it goes in the clouds and weather patterns and stuff. So there's some little nodal points and places of power that go up there, portals and stuff. So you find all these things and you get more sensitive to it. And the feathers are like antennas that's receiving more of that healing energy and bringing it in. Oh, that's nice. So this is like a healing eagle guide. That's cool. Ooh, yeah. And then seeing the sunset. Oh, that's beautiful. And heading right towards the sun. It's like a pathway. It's just wanting to suck you into the sun. Allows you to let go and fall into the energy of the photon track that travels through space and time to you. And it just hitting you and you receiving the healing energy more and more and allowing and trusting into it, falling into the wind as you soar. Oh, that's wonderful. It's giving all this information. Okay, so what's next? Okay. Interesting. Also taking the eagle has this pull type of magnetic current and it can sense it in the wind. It's cool. Where it can sense water, and it uses also sense of smell and other things, and it looks for water. And usually birds have good eyes, so they can find it. But even then, if there's not a lot of water, they can feel into a pull that's like the traveling winds point the direction to where it came from, and if there's water there, more water anyway. So then follows those. So it's like smells in the air, and it changes up and down. This is a good one. This is interesting stuff. Okay, so then you're following a track of psychic trail of water and water particles, and you're feeling into it, and you're following the wind current that takes you in that direction after you sensed it at a different altitude coming from that direction. And then you're following, and you're like trust falling into the water and it taking you there, and you following the water trail that takes you to the greater healing energy place of power, because a lot of water has different abilities and things it's good at. So we're looking for the healing water, and we see where it takes us. I'm able to sense a little bit more, so I'm going to look for the strand of energy that takes us to the greatest healing place of power. And it's okay, it wants me to do that. So then I see myself, you can just flow with the flying if you want, but I also sometimes, guys need me to speed up. So I'm going to see it as if it's speeding up time, going up faster, and just like getting sucked to the area where it wants me to be. Okay, it's getting there closer and closer. There's like a interesting peninsula. It's like a mountain, but it's flat, and it's got a high ledge all around it. I don't know what these are called again. Plateaus, maybe? I don't know. Interesting. So it's got a whole jungle on top. There's some cool water source. I'm heading down, spiraling down. There's like a river. Waterfall. Yes, that's perfect. Great. Waterfall, healing. Awesome. There's like a little cave structure under it. That's cool. And some pools that it pools up in. Okay, so I'm going to touch down. You don't have to stay in eagle form. You touch it, you can be your human self. What else is here? This isn't normal. What? 1, 2, 3. There's 3 different types of things going on here. Okay. Okay. So there's a waterfall. There's a hot spring on the side that has a little hot tub. This is nice. And then there's a cave going down that goes into many different directions of healing energy, including interesting pockets of minerals where the water flows through and then drips down from the ceiling into little pockets that have supercharged mineral content for healing. This place has it all. It's got cooler secrets below. So if you and you can keep going, I'm just like, it's like 500 different healing things you can go down that cave if any point you want to go amplify through the healing mystery school. How many of your energy bodies you can have them go into these places all the time. If you have enough energy, you can make a little bilocation and dreaming inhabit here all the time. But the more present you're in with it, the more it does, but you can still have it go on in the background. And you want to set these up for not just you, for the collective consciousness. And so we're going to go there as like buddies, your friend representation, that your buddy that represents the whole collective of humanity coming along with you in eagle form. And you're going to go and enjoy whatever you want. Go ahead into the hot springs, take a dip, go under the waterfall. The waterfall is nice and cool. So you can go back and forth between hot and cold. That's wonderful. And then you start exploring the caves below. I'll do one for the cave below, but yeah, feel free to get a part of yourself in the hot tub and meditating under the waterfall. Breathing in both the extremes of hot and cold and how healing they both can be of the yin and the yang, as they gatekeep going deeper into your healing unconscious in the caves below. So now we're going to head down, and it's like if you ever been in those near water caves where they're dripping, there's stalactites, and there's a few torches going down so you can see. So we're going to go down the staircase or the rocky crags of the cave. It's going in the down direction. And yeah, so we're going to keep going down. We're going to see if we can get to whatever the next point is that it wants us to see of interest. Okay, I see something. So it's near a torch going down the staircase. There's a little rest-ish spot. It's not that big. And there's something dripping down. There's a cup. Ooh, and there's a few cups on the other end in like a little basket. But there's a cup whole for each one of you guys. It's kind of brassish, but it's also shiny. It's a kind of goldenish. It might be gold. Ooh, that's nice. Okay, well, gold cup with some rubies and sapphires on it, and it's just under the dripping stalactite area. That's a little nook on the side of the wall. Ooh, so it's the first mineralization water. There's like elixirs kind of thing. There's these secret places that have these waters dripping down. Science hasn't gone much into them, but there's certain places that they don't get menstrual cycle. The women don't. Don't get menopause. Is what I mean. Until they're 100. There's water there that's so amazing and pure, and it can extend life. And there's so much that can be gone into with water and the different minerals that in different deposits. So I'm reading this cup is near full, and I'm going to scan it just in case, I like to be careful. It looks to be positive energy. I mean, this whole thing is about healing. So yeah, I'm reading healing. Any particular types targeting and healing better than others? Yes. And by the way, there's many different types of healing energy that branch off the main type of healing energy to subsets that go into specific cases of illness or disease or whatever else, and are really good at a certain type. So this goes points to the solar plexus, and it goes into healing empowerment. Okay. So it like makes it so that all the power systems of the body are stronger and greater, more rejuvenation, more energy. The system of the plumbing of energy is better, essentially. So then I go to pick up the cup and drink it. So you can do that in your mind or with an actual object if you want in the physical to amplify it with your belief. Really go into faith and love and appreciation for the water healing energy as you're intaking it. And it can even be you can overlay it energetically with something you're actually drinking. You just make sure you had your fill and you read it. It's good and it works. Let's see. I'm going to read it for everyone out there. It worked well for me. Ooh, yeah, I'm getting it strong and upgrades. And then, yeah, out there, good guy. Good job, everyone. Again, success. I feel the quenching of a thirst and like it filling an empty or needed aspect of yourself or completing a puzzle. And then, yeah, as you want, you can go deeper down the stairs into this healing chamber towards intention that you want to fulfill. This one's for healing, so you can go from vision to vision and complete each step and get better and better healing results. And this can help you get out of situations. You can especially ask, like if you're sick, for specific things that you want that amplifies the healing, like immunity, cures, for the illnesses and the symptoms that you're facing. Okay, so we got that going on. So how are you feeling out there, everyone? And how is it going, Robert? You're on mute. I can't hear you.
I'm going to say it's been amazing. Like I've been like half in and half out, but every time I've been able to like go in pretty deep and like follow you. And like what was really cool was someone was trying to heal me like while this was going on. Like someone was trying to like reach out and like heal my liver or whatever. Someone was sending me healing like while this was going on. So that was amazing. Or it was the meditation itself that was healing me. I'm not sure which of that was, but
there's a being in it. So there's watchers. There was a being, a healer of eagle person healer in it. So they were healing us the entire time. Let's see how much they're giving. They're usually generous. They're also amplifying the vision. Let's see. They're giving everyone 10,000 units of vision energy. That's great. And then, excuse me, at least 1,000,000 units to each person in the audience, including you. You got, and the more people that got in depth with it, you got like 1 trillion units a second, Robert. And then some people got higher. So that, especially as you get in depth with it, in vision and feeling and seeing and meditating and going into your heart and detaching, there's all these kind of ways you can amplify the vision, because the subconscious and the body and the healing mechanisms and the placebo effect react this pretty much the same to things actually physically happening to you versus your vision. So you can, it's like a medicine that actually stimulates the body to like, okay, I'm healing now. Boom.
Yeah. Allie Mitchell said that was powerful. She said she's got tears of joy.
Oh, beautiful, wonderful. Well, I'm so glad to hear that.
And Max Adams says, wow, that was like a great dream. Selena Ingalls says, I love these. Let me see. I'm putting these up on the screen. And she says, I hope Sean does more, comes on more and does them. They help a lot. She said.
Anytime you want.
Christy Campbell says, my headache is gone now.
Woo! Yeah, you've all got healings. Yeah.
Warrior for Truth says, beautiful healing at the cellular level, quench my thirst and body. So everybody really got healed. You know, it was a brilliant success.
Congratulations, everyone! You got your badges for vision questing. Woo!
Andromeda has a question. He says, I'll see what he says. I have a question. How can someone be free and not want to experience aspects of realities? I don't know. That's a really hard question to answer.
Oh, that's an interesting. I love how that's put. Ooh, that's a great question. Well, I mean, I think there's varying degrees of freedom, and those that value freedom, which I value highly, freedom. I think it's one of the greatest things to reach for, but that's up to everyone and what their current major goals are. So I think with the degrees of the mystery school of becoming more free, then I've been told that if you want to be an oracle, you have to become more one with every reality that exists, and understanding why it exists, and the perceptions of people in general, and being able to become holistic. Now, there are deceptions and stuff. There's things to look out for, and there's the whole reason to be skeptical and boundaries. And so as we build up and become openly skeptical, so that we're strong, where their feet on the ground, with their head being able to reach in the clouds like a kite and bring in more information and expansion. I think it's a great thing to feel and understand and see and experience more reality. So that does lead to more freedom. Though there's the upward spiral of ascension, freedom, expansion, wholeness, oneness with the universe, and then there's downward spiral, not necessarily meaning just ascension, but it also means manifestation and bringing things into this reality and making solid and building and creating and all kinds of things. So I think doing both is like a balance to expanding the reality even better.
Wow. And this is another one from Roxy Girl. She says, that was amazing. Thank you so much. Can feel it through my whole body. Christy Campbell says, thank you, Sean. Warrior for Truth says, thank you, Sean. Black Uni Gryphon says, I don't know what that signal is or symbol is. That's something cool though. It's like, oh, it's a dove. It's like a dove flying. That's cool. Yeah. Jason wasn't able to get into the meditation. He says he's jealous. He's going to watch later. Angel Wing says, I was holding one and feeding a chicken, I guess. So she was in it. Spiderbite says, love you, Sean. I imagine the Harry Potter Mystery School, how beautiful it is in there. That's interesting, you know? And the likes just keep going up on Facebook. So people are liking it on Facebook as well, you know? So that's amazing. Like this,
I love the Harry Potter Mystery Schools.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was interesting. Like, I was able to follow you the whole, even though I was checking the chat, like, I was able to follow you the whole time through, like, from the time you said we were in the room and we were in a dark room, and then I could see my aura, And then you said we were going downstairs and I could see the candles and the pictures on the wall. I followed, and then I saw the being. At first I saw an alien, but then it turned into like an angelic being. You know what I mean? And then it was like telling me stuff about myself and stuff. It was amazing. It was amazing. It really was. Yeah.
Lovely. And then, this gets into telepathy, which I also teach, how to meet other beings and communicate and establish relationships and trade and commerce and do missions. And Spider-Boy went into the Harry Potter Mystery School. I did Hogwarts stream. So, and I teach a bunch of magic on those. So look into my lives at PsionicLeague YouTube. But also he's mentioning like actual wizard mystery schools that you go internally and vision questing and some in the astral. There's even the extra dimensional witch and wizard mystery school where there are life extended Syrian B humanoid type beings of different races that are very overpowered in magic and have lineages branching into humanity, periods and times where a new extra dimensional witch came in or wizard came into existence. Usually their traits are life extension, shape and reality warp, different elementals they mastery over, and spatial tech, which they can make a pocket dimension and a little cabin in the woods or something in their own place in space that they don't have to worry about anyone else, and they can bridge it into certain magical woods or place of power, things they're watching over. And there are ones in like even cities that are anchored to monitoring a point in the city and look for new candidates to initiate in the magic mystery school to be worthy of being taught greater levels of magic. And sometimes they'll visit you in your dreams and you'll experience streaming like in a school of magic.
Wow, that's amazing.
Dilations where you kind of remember it, kind of don't, because the reality doesn't want you to remember those things.
Wow, that's amazing. And Drummond has another question. He says, "Are there null dimensions?"
Null dimensions. Are you talking about like null being? Depends on how you define that. I'm sure that exists in some media or something, null dimensions. What would you define that as? Dimensions I've gone into, at least in my perspective of interacting with them. There's higher dimensions, lower. Every dimensional direction has a kind of dimension, including going within it, which is mostly the extent. Most people, when they talk about ascension, going within or going up. Demonic-ish go in the dissension thing, and then there's different things for the front, back, and side. Then there's elemental things I call dimensions, which are like for the fire elementals or for jinn or water elementals, or all the different kinds of energy that has a space for its elemental existences of dreams and creations and realms to exist within it and for experiences. Null usually means no. Are you talking about a void? Because there are void space and just like place between atoms for infinite space, and there's inner earth and not just honeycomb going into earth and the ones on the 3D, but in the space between atoms in the each of the soil that has space for the ancestors to create a large amount of dream to reality constructs. So it depends on what you mean by that.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Thank you for your $10 super chat, Allie Mitchell. She says she wants to see me do my Donald Trump impression. I said I set a goal. I said if we get 5 super chats, I'll do my Donald Trump impression.
One of the best impressions I've ever seen.
But he's up right now. Tiffany just sent me
a say the greatest of all time. And
he's up. He's winning 101. He has 101 electoral votes. Harris has 71. So I think he won the states that everybody suspected, like he won Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina, where she won the more democratic states like Vermont, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, but it's 101 to 71. So we'll see. Do you think, but on a side note, I mean, where do you stand with politics? Do you think we have a chance with Trump? Do you think he's really outside the establishment, or do you not even look towards things like that?
I get heavily aware and invested in it myself, but I don't share it that well because I think I want unity between everyone, and it's super divisive.
It is, right? It really is.
I think of the healing of the collective to where their voice is heard, and there's more populist opinions from both sides, and which are ultimately being run by what is ultimately two wings of the same bird, but there are still populist movements, and there's lesser of the evils and picking better timelines. So as more informed and in truth and aware people are, and that's my vote, is to amplify the collective so that they're better informed and they take more of the control back, and it's less rigged and taking the power away from the elites and more towards the people. That's my vote. And as that constantly improves, then I'm happy. And even if somebody that I think is a less of a better timeline for humanity gets into power, I still look at the good things that would happen. I do find a lot of more people wake up when there is chaos and suffering. So I look at the good side of, even if a bad situation, and like if the vote goes away from the power of the people majority, where it gets rigged, well, more people that are asleep need more suffering, unfortunately, apparently, before they get triggered to wake up, and then we take back more of the power from the predators, and the light forces increase their resilience and their ability to take on these dark forces, and it gets more exposed. I went into a little thing that might help the audience with this, if you want. It helps with the voting, so that everyone goes well. And I think you agree with my assessment. It's like a micro macro body expression of what we're dealing with. If you want to heal the voting systems for the populace, this helps internally. You want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. So this should change the world quite heavily if enough people hear it. Okay, so there's the voting aspect, which goes into the people taking back control in their body. The government is represented by control. The control system, government means government or governate mentes, which is govern is to control, and then ment is mind. So it controls mind, but also goes into trying to control physical actions of people. Spirit, soul, ego, things. It wants to centralize large amounts of control. So healing it, getting back in shape. If you have a bad government externally, it reflects internally to you the things that you can make better about yourself and heal in the collective consciousness. So, big things like that can get better and better as people figure out how it works. Okay, so voting. The things in your body that vote that represent humanity are the cells, the mitochondria, the chromosomes, the DNA, the atoms, the energy, the RNA. The microorganisms such as the bacteria and even parasites, unfortunately, and parasitic things try to vote, which represents also rigging in the election, or symbiotic bacteria in the system. And your goal is to get unity in voting and pulling against the external invading forces. In the system of the body for use of distribution of power, energy, and nutrients is what you're voting on, like where it goes. Like subsidies, the government subsidizing programs and initiating that. It also goes into law, rules, boundaries that are set up in the body energetically, and use of force programming. So that that all represents the micro to the macro in the human body. So it's a control system for this all. There's also the representation of the vote counts, the counters, the monitors, which, like elite have laughed and said, if I rule the people that count the vote, then, is it really in the hands of the people? So who makes country is who counts the votes, right?
They want to even, that's what I say, even like Trump could be controlled opposition, you know what I mean? And there's people that think he is. A lot of conspiracy theorists think he is, A lot of conspiracy theorists say that that it was rigged, that the shooting was rigged and all that, assassination attempts and stuff like that. A lot of conspiracy theorists see outside the box and they question a lot of stuff, So it's like,
It's a good question.
I
think it's good to question, and it's all eyes to see all angles is for the benefit of all humanity. So, it's you really don't have an option to choose the greatest thing ever. So you get the lesser of evils based on what's
exactly right. I mean, I was thinking today when I went to vote, I was like, so we have like two choices, and then there was like a libertarian option. I'm like, who's going to vote for the libertarian option? No one even heard about these people. Like, you know what I mean? Like they could be the greatest people in the world, and I've never even heard of them. And they're somehow they're on the ticket. Like it's like I can tell you who they were. I have my. It's just so funny just to say. So the other people, there was Kamala Harris, there was Donald Trump, but then there was Chase Oliver from the Libertarian, and then Jill Stein from the Green Party. And I haven't even heard about either of those people. You know what I mean? Like I didn't hear about anything about either of them. So it makes you wonder why you don't hear about these people. They must have something good to say. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the walking through the swamp and the mud of getting into politics, which is very useful and needed. So eventually people need to evolve to where they can pay attention to these things and process the emotions, detach from it, resolve it, because it's taking back control of the steering wheel.
Yeah.
For both yourself, the collective, and everything. The vote counters are monitors of control information sharing of the collective voted agreement and enforcing it. The control centers are in the solar plexus, so you need to retake this back and purify, uncreate all attachment, do in unity with the collective consciousness. So you're helping it to, and each state and country and etc., purifying all and uncreating all attachment that's like negative parasitic, trying to influence this from being its purest information relay, nothing filtered, nothing gotten rid of, nothing added, no manipulation, but the truth. Then goes into sacral, the preventing measures. So there's a creation happens in the sacral chakra, and you create to prevent deception and rigging, fraud and hijacking. You have like quintillions, an outrageous number of energy construct operating systems that can be made, as well as 32 plus physical ways to monitor and prevent cheating, including AI and polls and poll watchers, exit polls, the tabulations, way to monitor the machines, the vote count, the population, and if you go over the population with some of the voting, watermarks. There's all kinds of things that can be added to make poll watchers things to make it better, so it can't get rigged, and also 17 plus ways to prevent cheating. So internally and externally, there's more internally, but ways to prevent it from happening. We need to form, and every country needs to form, and that will make elections way stronger, which is one of the biggest problems on the planet. Is they just let people get away with whatever they want and say there's no rigging. There's rigging all the time. It's ridiculous the amount of research no one does, and they let the mainstream media believe. Anyway, and I can go into a government micro macro, which you might be interested in. Let me know what you think about this. So I'll talk about, because Democrats and Republicans, and what they mean, because I like to stay balanced between. I could see them both as two parts of the brain, was in the hemispheres and the expansion, and we all have value in what we can learn from each other. And if we somehow all were able to have a super long debate and conversation, we'd be able to come to conclusions on and understandings of why each person thinks the way they do, what situation they're in. So I'll do. So there's representations internally for the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and how to make it so those are healed. So it has to do with will, control, influence, and over your body and externally. So with each party, it represents something, what it projects to people that it is, and what it is in its action based on what it's being puppeted for. So there's also dark cabal controllers, which represents evil will, which is the incurring will that infiltrates people and is the thing to fight against. And that infiltrates into both parties at varying degrees at different points in history, which it leans more. And it tries to influence both candidates, and even no matter who wins. Whether it succeeds or not is up to the candidates and how much they can not or be bribed or threatened or some other thing, and then what they're able to get through. So that's how it works. So the dark pole represents the evil will, and it's infiltrating into both, and it becomes something else. And then there's the populist movement control, which represents the will, the true will of you, your sovereignty, the people. And that will try to infiltrate into itself in multiple candidates as well, or whoever's running the nation, the external and people, internal, external. And as you're healing this, it all gets better. So I'll start with the Republicans because it's a little easier and lighter, and then I'll go to the Democrats. And and during COVID, I used to be a Democrat. Now I'm no one.
That's what I am. I was a registered independent, and then I had to register Republican just to vote for this election. But I basically got coerced into vote, because I'm really against politics. I'm really against the establishment. And so people convinced me that Trump was against the establishment. Like I said, I'm not holding my breath, but I have hopes. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know enough.
I like going with the populist movement. Who do you think the populist movement now is?
Who do you think the populace is going for? They're definitely
for Trump. Kamala didn't get voted in, and she's in the current administration, so she's the current establishment. GFK was in the left's populist movement. RFK was in the left's populist movement. Trump's in the right populist movement. Whether you think they're also hijacked by various forces, look for it. So I'm going to talk about that. What are the infiltrating forces, and for both? So there's what they represent to the people. So Republicans, their mask is conserving. So conserving good things of the old, things that they want to keep civilization going, etc. And Republicans, the term goes to the republic, which goes into the United States representative republic, and then upholding that. We're kingmakers, where everyone's a king, into a civilization, everyone rises. And there's things with the founding fathers in that. Their dogma, infiltration. Their infiltration from the negative side is, I found, that represents the will, religious dogma, supremacy, will control. So, and those out there that get triggered by this, don't worry, I'm going to go to the other sides. So we're doing both, and I'm not. So I like you both. So don't worry. Religious dogma, supremacy, will control systems, and you can look into that, and it's and I'm Christian too, so I like Christianity, but I can tell when sometimes they're pushing out all beliefs and awarenesses, though that's getting overtaken by the populist movement. So I'm talking about the original Republicans that are like the rhinos and the people that are in the
they're like
party
hardcore
establishment,
right? They're like hardcore conservative Christians, right?
Yeah, and also other religions, but and so they're that control will system, which you'd be transmuting into the opposite of dogma, supremacy, will control, which is towards truth, spirituality, golden truth, with the golden nugget within each awareness, religion, control rooted out of falsehoods is what you're turning that will into to pursue greater spiritual truths. Then there's the Democratic Party. So they have their thing is democracy, which is mob rule, which is voting, but it goes into a bit of a thing where other civilizations have kind of collapsed with pure democracy, so it's not a pure democracy. Because like people tend to just vote for free stuff until they run out of money. So it goes into more stable version of that. And then liberal goes into liberty, which goes towards freedom and doing what you want, which also goes into the libertarian party, which is kind of centrist towards both or away, wherever you want to go into. But then there's my body, my choice, or choice movement and all that, as well as progressivism, which is to progress or change, which is different than conserving what you feel needs to be conserved, which is good. Actually, this is part of the left brain, right brain, which you should have both. So you should find ways to progress civilization better. Though some might argue that because if evil takes control of the party, that it might not go to progress, but regression. So it's change either way. It does more action than the Republican side that I've noticed anyway. So, but sometimes it's not good action, unfortunately. That's their mask. That's what the populace wants. And so if people actually meet that, then they're doing good. What the infiltration is from the evil cabal, secret orders, and evil control take it over for is, and let me know if you've heard this concept before. Have you heard the concept called death cult?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So that's a term that's becoming more popular for the infiltrated dark aspect of the will that represents the Democratic Party, which you'd be a sliding scale on not that, because most of the people aren't this. For either side, it's the people in control.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like the Democrats, like it's not the Democratic Party that we grew up with. Like my parents and grandparents were Democrats, and then I'll tell you what. In 2008, I voted Republican. I didn't know what I was doing. I actually voted for George Bush, because I thought at the time he was good, and then we found out that they were all war criminals. Him, Condoleezza Rice, Dick Cheney. They were all starting wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and and with Halliburton and these defense contractors and shit like that, making, setting up these wars just to profit off of them. And then you find out that the Democratic side, Obama and Hillary, were in on it as well. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? They were just, Obama and Hillary were just a continuation of Bush and Condoleezza Rice and Dick Cheney and all them. You know what I mean? So it's just it was just I hate it. I hate it, man. I hate it. They make me sick,
Oh yeah, politics will make you piss off because a lot is infiltrated. So you're looking for the breadcrumbs of gold that make the timeline better and ways to make your party better because you're pushing back evil. Everyone's got a war inside them, and people are taking over and compromise and blackmail on them. And so it's very dirty. So people shouldn't get attached to any political party. They should detach, see what they can do with what they have, and try to make the collective conscious heal better, like we did in the meditation. So the death cult. So, and I'm sorry if this triggers you. Again, I said the Republicans have a religious dogma, supremacy, will control. This and that needs to be transmuted and shrunk down, filled with love and resolved and muted. Okay, so Democrats, you got the death cult. Which, I used to be a Democrat, so I understand. Obama seemed better than the other candidates. So now he kind of fucked up a lot of shit. But I see that there's a swinging pendulum with either side. The establishment will try to hijack anything they can. So death cult, what does that mean? It's the will internally towards driving a person or a culture or civilization towards death. So any will you have internally that's like negative, ultimately in accumulating, like, oh, keep smoking cigarettes, keep drinking uncontrollably, drive drunk at night. What, you know, those things, they're tendencies that people have. The tendency to sterilize yourself, to not continue your lineage, to confuse culture. There's the different theories that's like all current culture must be destroyed and flipped. Ultimately, that's satanic. That's one of their tenets.
I agree.
But also, it's in a lot of culture in college system generating the whole downpour in the population. That's, you know, all this is like coming from the elites, because they have some weird evil infiltration that's driving them to lower the population and to get us separate from each other, to not breed as much, to not date as much, to, you know, all the things. There's all these weird ways that are taking us, as well as health.
They even go as far as targeting to make people do that. You know, like they even go as far as like targeting people so they don't do that, so they don't date, or they don't, you know, so they don't have a normal, stable life. They'll target them and disrupt things in their life. They'll make them financially poor. They'll make them, you know, mentally unstable, so they can't function in society, and then they end up working a shit job that they hate. You know what I mean? And they can never get ahead in life. But again, and I'm not blaming the targeting. I'm not saying it's that all the time, but I've noticed that it is that some of the time, you know, and that means a lot. If they have their hands that much in our lives, you know, to where they're trying. And again, it goes back to this idea of a death cult. Why would they do that? Because they want to reverse culture and subdue everybody, and, you know, make everybody wanting to live off the government, but not, you know, able to sufficiently, take care of themselves, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I don't know if I just made any sense there, but that's how I feel.
Yeah. Be a perpetual patient and the daddy government as the answer, and not do anything or create yourself and be a victim and nipple off the government forever, which they nipple you poison so that they can make money off your illnesses too. So yeah, there's a lot to clean up internally and externally. And again, this doesn't represent populist movements, what I just said for these. These are the what ultimately the two-party system from its control tries to, with the evil systems surrounding whatever your candidate is, tries to manipulate them into. So what you transform that internal will of death will into is life will, the pursuit of greater life and amplification and unfoldment. And then the more people doing that and transmuting and taking back their control from the death will internally, and then mastering that and then representing it into the collective, the more you heal in the collective and the less that can infiltrate that. And then imagine if we get both political parties in gear in greater awakening. Both of them are having a type of awakening, and they just like kind of choose where they're going. And then and they can talk and open up to each other, and it's great as we all evolve together. It's you fall in love with the thing, even though it's all stressful and shitty, and they try to pit you against each other. It's like, I fall in love with you all, and thank you for becoming aware of so many different sides of awareness.
Yeah. I just wanted to give you, I have about 13 minutes. Well, I should even stop a little bit before that, because I got a meeting at 10 or in 13 minutes. But however you want to finish up, you know what I mean? I didn't want to disrupt anything, you know.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. If you want to do another vision quest, if you want to go into questions, people can even write in the chat if you what vision you want to go into next, if you wanted to do that, or if you want to talk more about the politics, I guess. I mean,
If you want to just come on again, maybe next week, and we can do this like again. Like we can come on again. This was amazing, man. I had so much fun. Honestly, this was awesome.
Sure. We can go into superpowers, healing, whatever else, amplify visions more, whatever you want to do. Love to.
Yeah. Well, maybe we should just call it now then, and then we'll come back maybe next week and finish up. And that'll be awesome, man. And do you want to tell everybody how they can like book a session with you or whatever you want to promote? And thank you so much, man. And thank you so much for doing this short notice. Like, I just wanted to do a show tonight. I felt like doing something, and it turned out like I think we did something really great for the collective. I really do.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for having me. I'm always honored. So I'll be anytime you need a free opening, I got you. I'll come in there with you and give you some good stuff for your audience to chew on. Honored. And this will be fun. We're going to expand into a lot of stuff. So, and also bring up your superpowers if you want to go into those things. Also been working on decoding weight loss psionics to the greater degree for, I think a lot of people benefit from it. There's some crazy stuff having to do with what those represents micro, macro, and all these weights on our shoulders that we are taking on, and then we can turn into magic. I'm trying to turn like the metabolism up to a high degree, and then you transmute. And I want to be able to turn people's fat into magic. That's what I want.
That's amazing.
But you asked about how they can reach me. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
So I'm Sean Bond, founder of PsionicLeague. You can reach me at PsionicLeague PSI with Psionic.com or PsionicLeague Gmail, PsionicLeague YouTube. You can contact me on Facebook and Messenger or Instagram or some other platforms. You ask for a session or clearing or healing, a lot of cheap things, as well as Mystery School and my membership site, various abilities that will help you. Doing tours around the planet. Next one's in Mexico. I just got back from Guatemala between a bunch of volcanoes and a pyramid. Volcano. Here's some cool secrets. I'll give you guys some whatever magic that I got from there. There's a volcano with a dragon in it, so that gave dragon force. So send some vibes to you guys. One of the volcanoes was higher level magic, so bringing that to you. And one was sacrifice, and but not like human sacrifice, though I'm pretty sure they probably threw people in volcanoes. It's you give up something and you get a big reward back in equal value. And I was able to find something that I had that like you can make spiritually that's easy for you to make, but then the volcano sees a great value in exchange for that. If you want to do that, you can have your higher self do it through me, and I'll send it. Just make sure it's something that you don't mind giving up. Like you make, I'm good at making dream realm constructs or something that you're good at that is like easy for you. And there was the pyramid complex. That was huge. There's a big predator on that one. So you don't have to worry about those things. That we take care of them when you go on our spiritual tours. We also train you how to be good at protection psionically. But there's a god predator because it had a connection to two heaven realms at the pyramid tops, to Mayan gods having to do with the creation of one of the branch offshoots of humanity, and one for hunting and plant medicine and going and forging and finding the cure for things. And that had a lot of knowledge in it too. And then the predator was trying to steal from the energy of the god one. There's some cool place of power all around the planet, and some will give you super.
We got to do a whole podcast on that. We should.
Sure, I'd love to. And you might come on one of the trips in the future as we get it set up with an itinerary. So we'll let you know the superpower places that are out there, and Rob might be on for that. If you want to meet Rob, just send our PsionicLeague at Gmail trip inquiry to that email, and we'll get you on the list. And you don't have to, agree to anything right away. We're going to give you more information on it, just like get you in the list. And then if you're interested, as well as for other places around the planet, like we're also going to do Japan and England and some other things, and India. But yeah, get your superpowers. Like, go to these place power, you give it what they need exactly. They'll like burst open with tons of energy, and they'll supply you with that whatever distance you're at, and it'll add to your life greatly. It expanded me quite a bit. Beautiful. Yeah, sign up for that. And yeah, we do clearings, healings, depossession, all kinds of teaching you abilities, telepathy, psychic tracking, vision questing, turn on your third eye. So send also, if you want a consultation in that, hit me up on Facebook or PsionicLeague@gmail.com, or my website is better because you can then just schedule a session right away and get my attention right away. Anyway, so how do people reach you?
Oh, I'm all good. I mean, they know, and I'm a typical skeptic podcast everywhere, and I just want to thank you again, Sean, for coming on short notice. It was really great. The audience really loved it. You know what I mean? You really bring magic. You really are a magical person, and you know how to like really. You're very multidimensional, and you know how to navigate these waters very well. And I loved how you at the end how you tied it in with politics, and like, because I think I feel the same way as you. You know what I mean? That like. I don't think either party is the answer. I think like we're the answer, and we have to just kind of evolve past that, you know, and stuff. And yeah, and thanks everybody. And I got a meeting in like 5 minutes, so I better go. And yeah, and thanks, and hit up Sean, please, and thank you guys.
Yeah, you're like a planet in yourself, man.